life, I have seen the explosion of tattoos through piercings and just an explosion of expression. People walking around always trying to look different. There's always a new trend coming up, and there's always something that catches our eye, and someone looks different. But is looks the depth of what is truly outstanding and what really makes somebody stand out? West says, if you want to stand out, don't be different, but be outstanding. And what that means to me is being outstanding comes from the inside, and it comes from your heart, from being authentic, whereas being different is just something on the outside that comes from an appearance or trying to set a different standard, or just something more superficial. And what I want to talk about is how in the world we have people that just try to stand out and be different, but in my life I've seen that through being authentic, that has made me stand out more. So there's always new trends, there's always things that will come up, and throughout history and in the future there will be things that push our ideas forward. But society will begin to adopt some of these things, and they won't be different anymore. So many people have tattoos now. It's no longer shocking or different. So many people have piercings. It might be an expression, but it doesn't signify what is unique about that person, what stands out. And my experience of this, when I was, in high school, I was an artist. I wanted to be different. I dressed in dark clothes or wild colors or ripped tights and Doc Martens, and I wanted to stand out. But I found so many other people around me were like that, and I felt like I really didn't have my own voice. I couldn't communicate with people. I couldn't relate to people. And through time and experience in life, I've learned that maybe by not standing out and setting myself apart, I'm able to relate to people more and communicate with people more, and find things where I can connect and make a real difference in somebody's life through meeting them and knowing them. And I believe this has made me more outstanding. And I see this in other people's life. Say like Martin Luther King. He went against the grain, but he followed what his heart told him and what he believed was true through using his mind, developing his mind and developing his voice. He was able to make more of a difference than maybe somebody who was just more radical and on the surface stood out. So in the future, personally, I plan to just develop more authenticity, develop more courage to be outstanding, to connect with people, to be honest and be vulnerable. And in that way, I could be of more service and meet more people and connect and help and be part of a world in a more dynamic way than just looking or saying I'm different. So thank you.
I like some of the things that you use for the attention device, talking about tattoos and piercings and how typical they've become. And I thought that there was a very good transition to the topic, and you told us what it was. Your point of view is also pretty clear. There's not really a preview of the contents of the speech. I think you started to have one, but it felt like you got overwhelmed with several other ideas, and so it's a little cluttered there at the beginning. In the body of the speech, look, you find lots of things to talk about, lots of experiences and examples to discuss. I think they need to be structured a little bit more, but they all illustrated the point that you were talking about, so there's nothing particularly problematic with any of those things. So you developed the content adequately. There are a lot of things about the presentation that are solid. I think that you use your voice very effectively. You've got a lot of personality there. There's change in tone and volume while you're speaking, and some good inflection. I think it's paced very effectively. There are a couple of things that are slightly odd. For instance, although you do look in the direction of the audience pretty regularly, we do catch you looking down at the side at the notes sometimes, which I think I keep telling people, don't do that. You're gonna just decide there's something over there that you got to look at, and then you're going to take yourself out of the speech, and you do that. But even when you're not looking at the notes, I catch you sometimes kind of think, giving the speech up here or giving the speech down there. You're still looking out toward the audience. It's not like you have just reduced yourself and looked down the whole time, but it does seem like you disengage a little bit when you're doing that, and which is strange because, like I said, vocally you're doing the exact opposite of those things. So you simply want to be a little consistent about that. That's probably some anxiety things. And the first time doing an impromptu like this in front of folks, it just feels a little bit more awkward. On your posture, for instance, I think you're going to notice when you watch it that it's not like you're standing sideways, but you are angled the whole time, and you pretty much stay at that same angle the whole time. And I think this part of the room probably feels like they're a lot more included than that part of the room does, simply because you have that slight angle while you're speaking to the audience. And change the focus of your body a little bit while you're speaking. Don't be afraid of stepping into or over toward the audience, or stepping into an idea, or emphasizing some point that way, because I think that'll make you look a little bit more engaged also. But the voice, I think that's where you did the best part of the presentation. All right, thank you.